Hmm, interesting.
The guy was really funny. He comes up to me and he just asked me, he said, on what authority am I out here fighting crime? What authority do you have? And I said, what authority do they have to sell drugs on my streets? And he kind of looked at me like I'm an idiot and told me that I was going to die and that rubber's not bulletproof. And I said, you're right. I said, you're right. Rubber's not bulletproof, but Teflon and steel is.
Hey, you got a weapon! Gunshot! 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 Get off me! Stop doing drugs in my city!
Here are two a drug dealer.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Ryan, shield up! Ryan, shield up! Get down! Give me the shield. What's going on? What's going on?
Benjamin John Francis Fodor was born on May the 25th, 1988 in Texas. It's unclear the reason why, but his biological family gave him up so he had an unstable childhood, bouncing between foster homes until the age of 9 when he was adopted by a couple who lived in Seattle. Both him and his new foster brother soon discovered a love for martial arts and dreamed of making it big inside the ring. So the pair set to work, and luckily for them, they were both naturally talented fighters, a fact that would come to shape Ben's life. In 2006, Ben had his first amateur MMA fight, which he won with a knockout, fighting with the name Fear the Flat Top. Ben would go on to have a record of 15-2 as an amateur and go pro in 2013, but we'll look more at his professional career a little later on. As Ben went from a child to a man, he had 2 kids and began to work at a daycare centre for children with special needs. Things seemed to be going well for this unassuming young man. In public, he had a job helping disadvantaged children and a promising future ahead of him as an MMA fighter. But Ben wanted more. A burning desire lingered deep inside him, and 2 events would act as the catalyst for his explosion into the mainstream consciousness. The first of these events was when Ben's car was broken into. Upon finding his car with a smashed window, his son fell over and injured himself on the broken glass. This obviously angered Ben, plus the fact that several people reportedly saw the break-in but did nothing to stop it, just sent him over the edge. Ben recovered a ski mask from the broken glass, which he put into the glove box of his car. The second incident was while outside a bar. One of his friends was being assaulted, and again, nobody was doing anything to help, so Jones went to his car to call the police and found the mask that he had left in his glove box. He put on the ski mask from the car robbery, that's a little weird if I'm honest, and detained the man assaulting his friend until the police arrived. These 2 incidents of social apathy were a light bulb moment for Benjamin, and he decided that he was going to be the change that he wanted to see in the world. Ben was to become a beacon of light in an otherwise dark and bleak world, the scourge of crime everywhere. Well, mostly just drunk people in Seattle, I guess.
So I'm running off the thing, I grab a pipe, which isn't even necessary to grab, I could have made the jump anyways, and just swing. I land on the scaffolding, the minute I do the bottom, and I just tumble every single stair. And then when I get to the very bottom, I fall like flat backed on the ground. The wind gets knocked out of me, but I still have to fight the crowd. So I get up and I look at the girl. I'm like, stop! I can't breathe. And I'm trying to chase him. So the dude books it. Nothing happened to the girl, which is actually good. She didn't get her stuff stolen. And I just puked.
Ben started off with no costume and would drive around the city, stopping whenever he saw a crime. He would pull over his car, take his shirt off, put on his ski mask and run to stop the crime. Can you imagine? Just minding your own business, doing a light bit of car crime, when out of the shadows a large shirtless man in a ski mask comes running at you. Kind of feel sorry for the criminals, to be honest. Must have given them an awful fright. Jones looked like the very criminals that he was trying to stop and was detained by the police at gunpoint a few times, which is fair enough, I guess. If you're at the scene of the crime in a ski mask and no shirt, it's kind of what you expect. Ben was also being recognised in real life by the criminals that he was fighting, so he decided to suit up and Phoenix Jones in his full glory was born. In 2010, he began to patrol Seattle, fighting crime and helping the homeless under the banner of Phoenix Jones. His costume wasn't too great at the start, and he was a bit shit at being a superhero, really. There are reports of him trying to stop a woman from being mugged by taking so long to crawl down a fire escape that by the time he got to the woman, she simply said, "He left already and you look like Count Chocula. You look stupid. Ungrateful bitch." But Phoenix Jones is a man of determination, so he decided to up his game and bought a net gun to help him fight crime. He trapped himself in the net, fell into a ditch and nearly drowned in 4 inches of water. The criminal who he was chasing came back, turned him over, which saved his life, then punched him in the face, robbed him and told him that he should stop being a superhero. A little while later, the police turned up and took photos of him while laughing. He also got a grappling hook that unsurprisingly wasn't very useful in real life, so he never really used it. Jones at this stage was an unknown nutcase running around Seattle being a menace to himself largely, but all this changed one night when he broke up a knife fight and was hurt in the process. Jones detained one of the men and called the police, who then began to question him about what he was doing. The next day he was all over the local news. Phoenix Jones the superhero was now on the rise and patrolling the nights to keep the city safe. As time passed, Phoenix would upgrade his equipment. He armed himself with a stun baton, 2 million Scoville pepper spray, handcuffs, a first aid kit, and a $10,000 bulletproof, stab-proof, and fireproof supersuit. He would apparently change into his superhero costume in the back of a comic book store. I'm not making any of this up. This is the reality that the great simulation in the sky has given us to live in. 2011 was a big year for Jones. He hit the headlines after chasing a car thief.
From the right, this guy comes dashing in, just wearing this skin-tight rubber black and golden suit, and starts chasing him away.
Threatening to stun baton a drunk driver, pepper spraying a man trying to steal a bus. In 2011, the following event also happened. I'm just going to play the video for you so you can make your own mind up about it, then I'll let you know what's going on afterwards.
Get me 911! Call 911!
Team 911.
I have body armor, so I'm okay, but I still need cuffs.
Just go home. You fucking what? What the fuck? Fucking go home. You bring fucking pepper spray in my eye.
I'll give you a come here. Come here.
No. No.
I don't want to pepper spray you. I don't want to hurt you.
I saw it.
Come here. What the fuck?
You fucking fuck.
Who is doing? You doing? Damn right. Call the cops. Get away from us. Fucking away when you die.
I gotta go. We're under attack here.
What's that behind the T? There's a huge fight on Western and on Columbia and Western. A huge group of people are fighting, and pepper spray and superheroes, and I don't know.
So Jones was arrested for pepper spraying this group of people that he claims were fighting, but the group claimed that they were just dancing. Jones went to court for this, dressed in his superhero suit of course, and was released without charge. But in a shocking turn of events, this happened outside the court.
I'm Phoenix Jones. I'm also Ben Fodor. I also protect the city. I also am a father. I also am a brother. You know, I'm just like everyone else. The only difference is that I decided to make a difference and stop crime in my neighborhood, in my area.
This revelation wasn't without consequence, with Ben being fired from his job at the daycare centre and the police confiscating his supersuit. Oh yeah, he had also pepper sprayed someone else earlier that night. He likes to pepper spray people. We all need a hobby, I guess. The police said that this earlier incident was a questionable use of pepper spray, but the guy he saved said that he was a hero who saved him from a potential beatdown. Also in 2011, he followed a man accused of stabbing another man and prevented the attacker from fleeing until the police turned up. All this attention began to bring other crazy people out of the woodwork, and soon Phoenix Jones was the leader of a whole gang of superheroes. Let's meet them.
I work here. Back it up. Okay, that's my best friend. Hey, cool. Back it up. Hey, get a real fucking job, Mr.
The Rain City superhero movement were a ragtag group of superheroes with superpowers ranging from one of them being able to tell the time without the use of a clock to... well, that's it really. Jones ran the team with an iron fist and turned away many people that tried to join the team. He would only allow members to join if they would unquestioningly follow his orders and had a history in martial arts, law enforcement or the military. It's pretty surprising that there are that many people that would want to do this, to be honest. It seems to be a bit of a trend in the Western world with superheroes springing up all over the place. My favourite being Master Legend, who I'll probably do a video on at some point.
My name's Master Legend. I protect Winter Park in Florida. I go out to Orlando with Team Justice as we fight evil left and right. And I have something for evil. Child abusers, beware. Get a taste of that the next time you want to hurt a little kid.
Back to the Rain City superheroes. There have been many of them over the years with names like the Mantis, Purple Rain, spelt like the reign of a monarch, not the wet sky juice. Smart. Purple Rain was also Phoenix Jones's girlfriend and honoured for her work with domestic abuse victims.
So I wake up, the date's in 4 hours, I'm glued inside a superhero outfit, and I have a stab wound. So I decided I will just tell the girl the truth. I'm like, okay, I sort of moonlight as a superhero. I paid for the date, you can't back out. I'm gonna come in my super suit. I'm not going to take my mask off because I have a secret identity. You have to refer to me as Phoenix, even though the name that I told you on our auction date was a lie. And I'll see you there. We ended up having a great date. It was a good date. We were talking and laughing, and it was one of those just like amazing connection kind of moments. And that was when she stops and she goes, your suit looks wet. And I'd been laughing so much I had actually started bleeding through my super suit and burst my super glue open. And everybody can like look back in your relationships and find that one moment when you realize that that person's probably the perfect person for you. Mine was about 10 minutes later when we had driven into an alleyway and taken my super suit top off, and she was helping me glue my stomach shut so we could continue our date.
Some other members are No Name, a man of few words I would guess, Buster Doe, Green Reaper and El Caballero.
Are you serious? Hey, what's up with this guy humiliating us, though, man? Humiliating? I'm Mexican, man. What's up with the sombrero, man, in the motherfucking mask, man? He's Hispanic. You're Mexican?
What does it matter? I mean,
it matters to me, bro, big time, man, because I'm Mexican, bro.
Sweet.
I gotta know if it's all right, man.
No, he's generally, as far as I know, I think he is.
Look,
like
this shit right here, man, you don't get past it, bro. You don't get past it, bro. Look, this is letting everybody know I'm Mexican. You know what I'm saying? You guys gotta rep where you from, man. But come on, man. Are you Mexican? Are you sure? That's kind of like him trying to like make fun of us or something, man.
Make fun, man. This is my honor, man.
Well, you're not even Mexican, Holmes. If you're a Mexican, I'll let that shit slide, man, but you're not even Mexican, Holmes. You're white, bro.
Yeah.
That's just humiliating to us, bro.
If you're wearing the Argyle shirt, I'm not gonna get pissy because you're wearing
the what?
Argyle. It's Scottish.
No, it's not, man. It's Hispanic, man. This shit came from our roots, bro.
The team would roam the mean streets of Seattle, mostly at night, fighting crime. Some of the crimes of note that they foiled are carjackings, the apprehension of a sex offender, a man attacking them with a golf club, and the time they stopped robbers from robbing a blind man. Nice. In 2012, Phoenix Jones went viral when a video of him engaging in mutual combat with a drunk man that was harassing him and his team was uploaded to the internet. The video showed him being followed and insulted by a group of clearly intoxicated men while a policeman was watching. Then after a while, Phoenix and one of the men agreed to fight each other, which apparently is legal in Seattle as long as there's a policeman there to referee the fight. Sounds like a pretty good law, to be honest. Well done, Seattle. YouTube keep age restricting my old martial arts videos for violent content, so I won't show you this video, but I'll include it in the members version now.
You only pick on me because I'm blind. Yeah.
This video rocketed Jones to internet stardom, and it was the first time that I became aware of him. In this video you can see that he's clearly trained, using leg kicks to soften up his opponent before knocking them out with a punch. All while dressed as a superhero and a policeman is watching. God bless America. Also in 2012, Jones and the team pepper sprayed protesters at the May Day protests. Phoenix claims that a bomb plot to blow up the city courthouse was revealed to him while he was working undercover. He informed the police about this but was ignored, so him and some of the Rain City superheroes mobilized and set out to defend the courthouse.
At one point, his camera shows smoke after something blew up.
Get away from the bomb!
At a certain point, we're standing in front of the building, and there's stuff on fire, dudes throwing rocks and stuff, 60 people in front of us, and we literally can't leave. So now we have to defend the building because we can't go anywhere else. So it was kind of intense that way.
Pepper wall, roll back to back, brother. Got you. No one's getting through the wall, buddy.
Then I got hit with a little bit of the pepper bomb, so we went back to make sure they couldn't circle us. So once we went back to back, we were just in front of the door, and I was like this, and Jack was on my back. Jack. We were just like this in front of the door, and we just stood there basically and made sure no one came in.
Back it up. Stay away from the building.
Jones says armed Homeland Security agents showed up and took a copy of his video so they can try to identify the people who vandalized the courthouse.
You're not going to break federal property. You're not going to destroy personal property, people's cars and stuff. You're not going to just do general lawlessness when it's my city. I'm not going to put up with it.
Jones has reportedly been stabbed, shot, and had his nose broken in the line of duty. It seems that his $10,000 was well spent on the supersuit, though, as the stab and bulletproof properties of this suit stopped him from getting badly injured. His nose was broken when he was held at gunpoint and kicked in the face. Should have spent the extra $200 for the footproof mask, I guess. Jesus, that was lame. I'm going to keep it in though. As you would expect, every hero needs a villain, a nemesis, a yin to his yang. Meet Rex Velvet.
My name is Rex Velvet, the people's villain, if you will. Before you jump to conclusions, let me tell you that I'm a fair negotiator and businessman. But I will not back down from you, Jones, until this city is rid of you.
This was clearly a tongue-in-cheek thing, with Rex Velvet being a filmmaker named Ryan who gained a fair amount of success on YouTube with the character. Phoenix Jones hated Rex Velvet, and not in a playing along with the gag kind of way. Phoenix took the job of superhero very seriously and saw this as taken away from his brand as a force for good against fighting crime.
I don't have anything to say to him because I live in the real world. And I don't promote or accept or even acknowledge people who want to do acts of villainy of any kind, even if it's not real.
On the 22nd of April 2012, the Phoenix Jones story would take a dramatic turn when a young lady was shot in a drive-by shooting.
Because, gunshots! Hey, where'd it come from? That way, go that way. Hey, we got gunshots. I need a 911 call right now. We got gunshots. Team 1, Team 2, follow me. There he is. There's the shooter. Backpack running. Hey.
The 21-year-old woman named Nicole Westbrook was hit in the cheek by a bullet which went through and shattered her spine. Sadly, Nicole later died in hospital. Jones and some of the other Rain City superheroes gave chase to a man with a grey backpack who they believed to be the shooter, but he escaped. The case is unsolved to this day, but police believe that the man with the grey backpack was in fact the intended target of the shooting, and that Nicole was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This event seemed to hit Jones hard. In an interview after the shooting, Ben said that he didn't chase the gunman at full speed, was relieved when the police stopped him because he was nervous, and was happy to stop the chase. Shocked by what he had experienced, Jones's world had been turned upside down. This event would haunt Ben. But Rain City wasn't going to protect itself, and soon he was back on the streets, keeping them safe. The next event of note was when Jones tried to unite all of the real-life superheroes operating in America. Over 300 of them, apparently, which sounds like a lot, to be honest. Jones was already a divisive character among the real-life superhero movement, some of them thinking that his tactics and need for the spotlight was shining a dark hue upon them all.
I'm Phoenix Jones. I want to talk to you guys about the Alliance. This is what's up. There's a lot of superheroes out here who are doing really stupid crap, and eventually we're all going to get shut down. You guys don't realize it, but there's a war going on out there you don't know about. And that war starts with the government not liking unregulated anything in mass numbers. There's 250 of us to 300 of us walking around with absolutely no accountability. It's going to stop pretty much now. Here's how it works. It started the Alliance. It's really simple. You go to www.phoenixjones.com, hit the Alliance button, you sign up. You don't have to say your name, your identity, none of that. Just where you live, what city you patrol. You agree that you wear bulletproof vests when you patrol. You agree that you don't carry illegal weapons. You agree that you follow all state and federal laws. You agree that you're over 18 years old. That's it.
Phoenix Jones and the Rain City superhero movement had come a long way from their humble beginnings and had become a fixture of the Seattle night. They now worked regularly with local police and were a sophisticated operation tracking crime statistics and trends to see where was the best place to patrol. They would regularly confront drug dealers and car criminals, but mostly it seems like drunk people were their main targets. The Seattle crime fighting team were on top of their game when cracks began to appear, starting with the departure of long-term member El Caballero, who accused Jones of stealing his helmet. This was followed by Purple Rain, remember, like the monarch, not the tears of God, who left, she left the group after splitting up with Phoenix Jones. Mutiny was afoot, and soon the other members of the team would leave while claiming that Jones was a con artist and a thief. Members of the Rain City superhero movement would soon claim that Jones forced each member of the team to buy a bulletproof vest, while also claiming that he had a contact that could get them cheap. They gave him money, he gave them lies. They also claimed that he would take a monthly fee from them for health insurance, but would refuse to show any documentation to prove that this exists. The most damaging allegations that were made by the exiting heroes was that Jones preys on drunk people outside of bars, implying that he beats up drunk people for internet clout. These heroes set up their own new team called Echo, but were a shadow of their former glory, and without Jones, they failed to capture the public's attention. In 2014, Jones officially disbanded the group, but instead of addressing the allegations made against him, he cited the other members' lack of physical fitness and willingness to carry illegal weapons on patrol for the reasons for the split. Phoenix continued to patrol the streets by himself, but these controversies would taint the superhero, and soon public support for him began to wane. This was only compounded in 2015 when Jones had a comic book commissioned about his exploits as a superhero. This was fairly well received at first, but began to draw criticism when an issue of the comic book depicted the murder of Nicole Westbrook. Some people accused Jones of profiting from her death, but it should be noted that Nicole's sister seemed to support the comic as it could help bring attention to the still unsolved case. Sadly, Phoenix Jones was now on a downward spiral, but before we dive into his downfall, let's first take a look at his MMA career. As stated in the first chapter, Ben started to fight as an amateur in 2006 under the name Fear the Flat Top. No prizes for guessing where that name came from. Ben was a promising talent and had a string of wins until he lost against Justin Nelson with an ununanimous decision. He quickly bounced back though and fought his way to become a pro in 2010 or 2013, seems to be conflicting information to be honest. Whichever one it is, his MMA career as a pro really started to kick off in 2013 and he had a string of wins and cancelled fights until 2015 at around the same time that his superhero persona began to fall apart and he lost to Manny Wallow. Ben was now fighting under his superhero name and maybe seeing that the superhero gig wasn't going to pay the bills for much longer, decided to cash in on his fighting career, which he began to focus on more. Sadly, this didn't work out too well with a loss for every win that he had until his final fight in 2017, which was a loss. Ben's record as an amateur was 15 wins and 2 losses, and as a pro was 7 wins and 3 losses. By far, Ben's biggest fight was against his foster brother Carlos Fodor. The pair seemed to not like each other very much, and the fight was marketed as a civil war, which was based on a superhero movie at the time. Phoenix lost the fight, but did he win the war? No, now we'll look at his downfall.
I mean, it's simple. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna fight, and the best fighter is gonna win. And when Karras looks at himself, he's going to have to ask himself if he's ready to kill me, because that's what it's going to take. Because you did this and you put us here. Be ready to kill me, because I'm not going to stop fighting until one of us wins. You did this. This is your fault. We're not putting up with it anymore. We're tired of it. Bad people keep selling drugs in the city, polluting the block, and we're just not putting up with it.
Hey, this is a bitch.
It's kind of funny, but I'm dead serious. You're on the phone, right?
Great.
This is real shit, bro. This is as real as it gets right now.
Stop doing drugs in my city! You guys keep doing drugs, I'll come back.
The crazy thing is, I got a masked man calling me.
Yeah. The crazier thing was when you paid a homeless crack addict to suck your dick. That's crazy.
I didn't.
It's on tape.
In 2016, Jones began to act more like the criminals he was fighting than the hero he liked to see himself as. In one incident, he tweeted the local police to tell them that he had knocked someone out and left them unconscious on the street, but had very graciously left the Sleeping Beauty a business card so that he could call Jones when he wakes up if he had a problem with what Jones had done. In 2018, one of Phoenix's friends called the police with allegations that Jones threatened to kill him over a dispute involving a love interest. By this time, Jones had become disheartened with humanity and felt that all his work on the streets of Seattle had made no difference. The problems that were there before still persisted and no one but him was willing to put in the effort to change it. Phoenix seemed to believe that he alone was all that stood between a safe Seattle and a lawless nightmare. Jones also became more vocal about his disdain for other superheroes, with claims that they were unskilled LARPers and that he was the only true crime fighter. In 2019, Jones announced his retirement from the superhero game, and as if to put the final nail in his metaphorical coffin, in January 2020, Benjamin John Francis Fodor was arrested for selling drugs. This gave his haters all the ammunition they needed to finally bury Jones and broke the hearts of the many people that believed he was a shining light of justice.
I idolized you. I would watch your videos all the fucking time. And now I hear you're a fucking drug dealer now? Fuck you.
The police had received a tip from 2 women informing them that Jones was selling drugs and that he had been for a long time now, so the police set up a sting against him. Undercover police officers then went on to buy $500 worth of MDMA and 4 grams of cocaine from Fodor before arresting him. After this announcement, the internet was flooded with claims that this had been going on for years, and his old teammates began to do public damage control, distancing themselves from Ben. I've been unable to find any details on what his sentence was for this crime, but he didn't go to prison, so I can only guess he got some kind of fine or probation. Whatever his sentence was, Jones didn't have time to care, because by mid-2020 he was out of retirement when America was set ablaze by a wave of peaceful protests. Jones was understandably conflicted at the start, seemingly agreeing with the message of Black Lives Matter, but also seeing people rioting and looting his beloved city. As the situation progressed, an autonomous zone known as CHOP or Chaz was set up in Seattle, which most of you watching being American I'm sure you already know about, so I won't go into the details. Jones began to patrol this area alone and at first seemed to enjoy his time there, describing it like a festival and Americans exercising their right to free speech and to open carry firearms. But as the days rolled by, he began to talk of it more like a war zone, with people being shot, mob rule, and in the end he called for the zone to be retaken by the police. His old teammates were also out patrolling the zone and had this to say about Jones.
Oh, nothing. We're just out here keeping people safe. If you see Phoenix Jones, let us know.
Who's Phoenix Jones?
He's the other guy who used to be a superhero and still rolls around.
How's he dressed?
What's that?
How does he dress?
I guess black and gold.
Like, oh yeah, I saw him earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
What about the Wizard? Well, what's
Wizard? I don't know, Wizard.
Well, hold on, what's Phoenix Jones's deal?
He's gotten into a lot of trouble. I'll say that on camera.
Okay.
Y'all stay safe, okay?
All right, thank you.
Oh!
Good job!
Phoenix Jones is the hero!
There we go.
What is that?
Nah, man, that's heroin, bro.
That's heroin.
That's black tar heroin, not weed.
That's like 200 bucks.
That's how you do it, right?
The real-life superhero subculture is a weird rabbit hole with an odd mix of people doing many different things, but ultimately most of them seem like good people trying to do what they think is right. But for some reason I can't help but look down my nose at them, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I'm a stuck-up English with a superiority complex, or because they seem somewhat detached from reality, or maybe it's the costume advertising the good deeds. Not too sure, to be honest. I kind of get the same sense with Phoenix Jones, but to a lesser extent, and Master Legend I genuinely quite like for some reason. But anyway, this is about Phoenix Jones. He strikes me as a man of violence, which I think I may have a bit of a different view than most people on, as I don't really see this as a bad thing. This is going to be a gross oversimplification, but also not. Men are pretty much designed for violence, and to deny this seems like a bad idea to me. Ben has embraced this aspect of his manhood in a more positive way than most men do, myself included. He has channeled his aggression into MMA and being a real-life superhero, both of which seem more productive than joining a gang, for example. So, as a society, maybe we could learn from him and channel our young men's natural aggression into things that benefit us all, rather than pretending to be surprised when young men act in a violent manner that doesn't benefit us. That being said, Ben Fodor is a complex human being the same as the rest of us, and I'm sure that he's had dollar signs in his eyes when acting out the character of Phoenix Jones. I do think that the time that he got arrested for dealing drugs but then a few months later was out on the streets fighting rioters was pretty telling. At the very moment when everyone had lost faith in him and in some cases hated him, he was still out there doing what he thought was the right thing, which to me at least shows some genuine desire to do good. I do get that he was arrested for selling drugs, but honestly, I don't care about this. On the internet, I hear people banging on about free speech, or in America, you guys talk about abortions and guns a lot, all of which are important topics, don't get me wrong. But to me, at least, we lost our freedoms when drugs were made illegal, and until we sort that out, we are just inviting our governments to take more of our freedoms. If it's against the law for me to go out and pick mushrooms that naturally grow and eat them, then we have no freedom. And I'm pretty sure that in 100 years' time, they will look back on the millions of people that we have in prison for drug offences in the same way that we look back on people being hung for stealing bread. It's fucking stupid. I do get that he sold himself as a pure shining light, but if you believe that any human being will ever be a pure shining light, then you probably deserve to be lied to because you're fucking stupid. I'm having a good old rant tonight. If you've been gracious enough to still be listening to the ramblings of a stupid person, I'll get back to the story at hand, I guess. Just after I have a little more rant, just think of all of the years of human life that have been wasted behind bars for drug offences, but we give CEOs for tobacco companies, alcohol companies, pharmaceutical companies massive bonuses each year. Compare the amount of deaths and suffering that these people cause to someone selling crack on the streets, and the outcomes that they receive is fucking mental. Arms companies, politicians sending our children off to die in pointless wars that they make money from. It's fucking madness, I tell you. Anyway, I'm done now. Back to the story. After the CHOP or Chaz was shut down, Jones went back to fighting crime, but in a lot more diminished way. Mostly helping find stolen bikes, really. I did also read a quote that he wanted to go and fight in the war in Ukraine, but couldn't because he was a convicted felon or on probation. He seems to have dropped off the internet in 2023, so I don't really know what he's up to be honest. If you live in Seattle, please drop a comment if you still see him running around fighting crime. Whatever he's up to, let's hope that it goes well for him. and that our government's legalized drugs because I really need to forget my problems.
Or the person that Flat Top fighting in the cage rink is, and you look at Phoenix Jones, there's a lot of problems with the continuity there.
You do look really different.
Well, not only do I look really different,
it doesn't even seem like the same
Flat
person.
Top hurts people, right? But then on the other hand, you've got this guy who is out there helping people for no apparent reason, hiding his true identity. And then in the middle, you've got a guy who does a little bit of both, where he's a guy who watches autistic kids for a living, and on the same coin, you know, protects them to make sure that nothing bad happens to them. So you have to ask yourself, who's the real person?
The channel members are the real superheroes of this story, as they give me enough money to buy drugs. Thanks, guys. Watch this video about Steven Seagal. It's guaranteed to give you an erection, and bye-bye.
Where's the Joker?